me say this, just to start it all off. None of us should speak for all of us. And I think in this world right now, because everyone wants representation, that's the slippery slope where all of a sudden you find yourself in a place thinking, oh, I have the microphone, I have the platform, so I'm going to speak for all those who are not heard. And that's disingenuous, and that is actually damaging. Now, I think Ryan Clark is at home. And as he speculated on what RG3 is doing at home with his white wife, let's speculate about what he's doing at home with his black wife. I think that knowing how my wife is and the arguments we have at times where we disagree, and my best example is Black Lives Matter when it first hit. I guess that's 2020. And when it first hit, you're going down the street and you just see these large groups and gatherings, right? And they're telling you to honk in support, et cetera. And I remember we were still working together, right? So I'm going down the street and my wife, we're at a red light and she hits me. And I'm like, what's up? And I'm looking at the gathering like she is. She says, honk. And I was like, honk? Honk for what? And she said, honk for the Black Lives Matter. I was like, why? I'm already black and I know my life matters. Why I got to honk? I don't know what they are representing. I know what they're saying, but I don't know what they're representing. So let me do some homework and research before I start honking. But a lot of times you get pulled into, this is where Ryan Clark may be. You get pulled into that guilt of you have platform, you have a microphone, you have resources, you have made it. You are an outlier, whatever that may sound like. And Ryan Clark is like, yo, I got to speak for my people, but then I got to put some extra sauce on it because I do have a white baby mother we have a black kid, and that may bring some angst in the home.
What's up, everybody? After Ryan Clark has been running his mouth, he is now backpedaling faster than Deion Sanders in his prime. Let's break down this so-called apology to RG3. Let's get it.
In the back and forth between myself and RG3. All of it started over an Angel Reese take that he felt was a sports take that I didn't feel that way about. I felt it was away from the court. I felt that it was away from basketball. And because of the personal feelings I have about RG3, I took a take that was personal to another person and made it personal to myself. And I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have brought his wife into an equation, even though in my mind, before speaking about her, I processed as much as I possibly could to speak of her in a way that was positive, trying to make sure it only illustrated a point about the way that he approached Angel Reese. And in that, in some ways, and to some people, I probably missed the mark. I have a lot of experience with RG3. I know some things about him personally. I'm not going to say that we are close. I'm not going to say that we are friends. But those things already imprinted in my mind, those feelings, already things that have developed over our experiences together, over some things that he said to me, done to me, probably some things I've said to him, they played a part in how I felt. Now, he's done some things that I haven't commented on because I didn't want or need to attack him. And in this case, I wanted to defend a young black woman, which ended up being an attack on him. He felt, or at least he said, an attack on his family. And that was never the case or never the intent of mine. When I look back at this, I think a larger thing that has now happened is people who love and people who know me have now had to come to my defense because they know my heart, they know my actions, they know the intent of my words. By bringing in, maybe, I can't speak for these people, by speaking about RG's wife, it's now brought my family into the equation, brought Yanka into the equation, brought my children, Jordan, Logan, Jaden, into the equation. I certainly didn't want them to have to be sort of the casualties of my Twitter or my media wars. Yanka, in particular, has taken a lot of heat, has taken a lot of hate. All she's ever done is give her life to her family. All she's ever done is make sure all of our kids, yes, that includes Jaden and Jordan and Logan, had the best home life, the most present mother, the best provider, the best support system that they possibly could. And then after that, after taking care of that family for decades of her life, she's now moved on into getting a degree, getting a master's, starting a PhD program, and now working to counsel and take care of others. I don't think she deserves, not I don't think, she does not deserve the hate that she got because of me. To her, to my children, I am sorry. I have to start to think about how my words impact, who they impact, and the effect of the fallout on you guys.
Right on, man.
So that leads me to Greta Griffin. Let me say this before getting into reasoning, before getting into thought process. She should not have been brought up in me trying to make a point about how having Black women close to you and the things that you learn from them can help you in the way that you approach and speak to and about them. She didn't need to be the illustration of that. I could speak positively about what they are without making the insinuation that it's something that non-Black women don't do well. I'm doing the exact same thing, or it may have seemed that I did the exact same thing to her that I'm trying to keep people from doing to Black women.
That's fair, man. That's fair.
My thought process was in seeing certain clips on my algorithm, on my timeline, they do a podcast together. In that podcast, they talk very openly about not being Black enough. They talk very openly about biracial kids, what it's like to not be accepted in the Black community. They very rarely talk about Black women. In the video that RG3 posted that I felt like mocked Angel Reese, she was in the background. Then I love the optics of RG3, a Black man, attacking and imitating, and what I felt insulting, mocking a Black woman as his wife was in the background, almost seemingly as a prop of, and this is my feeling, of what was good, amening, nodding along, and applauding what I felt like was a personal attack. I didn't. But that doesn't mean because I have that feeling about what you do to someone else that I can do that to you. So to Greta, I was out of line. I was out of bounds. I apologize. To all of the people that don't like RG's take or takes or the way that he moves, or even if you just in this conversation take my side and want to support me, leave his family alone. It doesn't take a daily attack on
Good for you,
his
Ryan.
wife, on his children, to remind him that you think his take, his takes, or whatever it is the wrong thing to you.
Guys, you guys know I'm not the biggest Ryan Clark fan, but I am going to tell you something. He has semi sort of won me over here with this, because when he does talk, he talks with compassion, a lot like me. You know, I'm a fighter as well. When it comes to things in life, you know, we keep trying and we keep trying and we keep working. We want to make our lives better. We want to do the best we can for the people, you know, in our families and stuff like that. You know, and I want to say this, you know, to Ryan Clark, what a big thing for you to do, to come on and actually apologize to RG3. Because, you know, but I will say this. There's a couple things I'm going to say on this, and then that'll be this video. You know, while I was looking this up, man, I'm going to show you guys this picture. That is RG3's mom, you know? So the biggest issue that I didn't understand where Ryan was coming from on this was the idea of, well, you know, RG3's not having these conversations with in his household, you know, when it comes to Black women. And I guess the biggest thing to me was, well, okay, well, RG3 was, raised by a black woman, right? Robert Griffin III he married a white woman. You know what I'm saying? Who cares? Like, to be for real with you guys, I don't understand this kind of dynamic of, somebody doesn't understand somebody. I don't understand that. But he has 3, I don't even like saying interracial people because that sounds like, it just sounds tribal, man. You know what I'm saying? We're just people, man. Guys, I like Ryan Clark's apology here because I look at it and I go, well, it looks like he's coming from a sincere place. I am not a Ryan Clark fan by any means, but I will tell you this, it's going to make me look a little bit more at some of the things he's saying, because in this particular situation, he's looking at it going, okay, I said some stuff and this is what retaliation is. These guys are going back and forth. This is what this game is. And, if you're going to go after somebody's wife, like Ryan Clark did in this particular situation, then expect that same kind of energy towards your own family, and sometimes that stuff happens and it's unwarranted. But in this situation, Ryan Clark specifically set out to go after RG3. However, I will say this, he handled this amazing. And I want to give a round of applause to Ryan Clark, man. Us as men, we always, especially us, we want to win. We want to get out there. We want to battle. We want to get in there. We want to get in the ring and do stuff. Sometimes we say stuff and we're like, there's a difference in moving as a man. There's a big difference when you're a man moving alone by yourself and then moving with an entire family. And what Ryan Clark is probably learning from this situation, and me also, I'm learning this from this situation as well. So it's not just him. You have to be very careful on some of these battles you pick and on some of the things you actually say, because if you attack someone else's personal, like he did with RG3, be ready for somebody to attack your personal like that. And I would also say this too, when it comes down to this whole situation, is a lot of people are online and they're like, yo, Ryan Clark really mean this? Is he blah, 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 blah. I'm going to tell you exactly what I think this is coming from. This is my personal opinion. I think Ryan Clark was single for a very long period of his life, like all men are single for a very long time. And you're used to giving these takes, but the internet is a different beast than him going on ESPN. And now people that don't have these massive deals can get online to have a fan base and say, hey, man, I don't like what you said to me about this.
Bam.
And then the next thing you know, you're caught in a situation like Ryan Clark was caught in here. I have no idea. I did think that Robert Griffin III's take was a sports take, but I can see where Ryan Clark maybe have thought otherwise. But I did think I will say this about Ryan Clark. I liked him a lot less before this video. And I'm going to tell you, I actually like him a little bit more after this video, because it shows his humanity. It shows that he cares about his family. I think he's growing as a human being. I think he's looking at it going, geez, man, I could say something crazy about somebody and my family is going to get attacked. So, what? I don't know. I mean, that's a crazy thought in general, because I feel like people should be able to say what they want to say and you keep it in bounds with each other, but that's not how the internet works. So I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments what you guys think. Please like, comment, subscribe to Nick Driver on YouTube. Guys, ring that notification bell and let's get it, man. We're going to have a good year this year, man. And I really appreciate everybody hanging out. Big what up to Ryan Clark. Hey, man, it's a big thing you did. Most ESPN commentators will never apologize for anything. I thought it was very big of you. So I hope you guys have a blessed day.